You know that feeling when you really want to draw and you really want to like fill in your sketchbook, but you just have no idea what to draw or even where to start? Well, if you're feeling that way, don't worry. My name is Sparkle, and today I'm here to be your hero because I'm going to be giving you guys 5 fun ideas to fill in your sketchbook. So without any further ado, let's begin. Step 1 is to grab your sketchbook and grab your pencil case, and also make sure to get into that mindset of being ready to draw, being ready to create, but also not worrying about how the final result is going to look, because we are going to be focusing more on the process and not the final result. So starting it off with idea number 1, it is to do it your way. Or draw it your way. And what I mean is find something around you, anything. For example, I have this little My Melody figurine that I went ahead and drew my way in my style as a human. And here's how it turned out. I also went ahead and did the same thing with this cute little toy that my sister got recently, and I posted a short where I drew it in my own style, and I think it looks so cute. And this next one is a sneak peek of a future drawing I'll be posting in a video, and that is this drawing of Kuromi as a human, specifically this Kuromi squishy. And the entire point behind this idea is basically just to pick something like a character or an object in front of you and try to draw it in your own style. For today, I'm going to be trying to draw this beautiful purple angel figurine in my style. So this was a gift from my dad and I love it so much, and I really want to be able to capture this memory in my sketchbook, so we're going to be trying to draw this gorgeous figurine as a human. So let's get started. And of course, since I'm going to be doing this my own way, I can decide the pose, I can decide what I keep, what I change, and basically I have all the creative control over this drawing. And that's definitely my favorite thing about this idea, because it gives you like this starting point and it kind of guides you with where to begin and what to seek inspiration from. But then after that point, you have all the control. You can do whatever you want and take it in any direction you please. And by the way, it doesn't have to be human. For example, you can like pick a random plant in your house and try to draw that in your style as a human or an animal, or take inspiration from the colors and draw it as like a scenery or like a silhouette or like literally anything you want. Because as the idea suggests, you can do it your own way, which means there are no limits except for your imagination. And now back to our drawing. Now that I've finished the sketch and I'm happy with it, I'm gonna go ahead, lighten it, do some outlining, and then we're gonna come back and do the coloring. And usually when I post a video like this, a lot of comments that I get are about what I use to erase the sketch and what I'm using for my outlining. So I'm just gonna tell you right now. I went ahead and used a kneadable eraser to lighten the sketch as I'm doing right now, and I used my Hoo Hoo fine liner and Muji pens for the outlining. And with that, let's get to the coloring. I'm starting it off nice and simple with the skin. Today I'm going to be using a lot of different mediums. I'm going to be starting off with markers and then layering some colored pencils on top, using acrylic paint pens and things like that. So because of that, I took the shading really simple with markers. I didn't like overdo it. I just kept it simple and easy. And then when I came back in with my colored pencils, that's when I really got to level it up and just make it look a whole heap better. Also, if you know me, you know that I use like really vibrant colors when I'm coloring most of the time. But today, since I colored the dress with gray, I was kind of worried about how it was gonna look. But to be honest, I love the gray shading. The gray on white just looks so beautiful. And then with the pencils and the highlights, it just looked so much more gorgeous. I also randomly had the idea to add a background, specifically this background, and I have no idea if it's going to show up or if it's even going to look good after I draw in the wings, but you guys can be the judge of that. So let me know later in the comments down below. But you know what really surprised me more than anything? It's the fact that somehow, and I have no idea how, I ended up spending 2.5 hours on this drawing, and I still cannot like get my mind around that, because 2.5 hours. I've never spent that long on a drawing this simple, but it was just super relaxing. I was just sitting down, drawing, chilling, and by the time I realized how long it had already been 2 hours, and that was honestly such a great sign, because that just means this idea was so much fun that I literally did not even notice how fast the time was passing by. Anyways, with that, I present to you the final drawing. Check it out. What do you think? I love how it turned out. It looks like the figurine, but it also looks different. It's in my style. It's unique. I had a great time making it, and this drawing holds such a happy memory for me. And now with that, let's move on to our second idea, which is actually inspired by this magic ice cream here. I randomly made this as I was experimenting in my sketchbook and I loved it. So that's why I'm going to be showing you guys a step-by-step tutorial of how I made this for the second idea today. And if this page is giving you a bit of deja vu, let me tell you why. It's because last week I posted a YouTube short of how I made this page, but as a short. And here's how that one turned out. This one is kind of cool, but today we're gonna go for a different style, and today's tutorial is gonna be just a little bit longer and in-depth. So with that, let's go ahead and make our magic ice cream. Starting it off with the most obvious first step you could ever think of, draw an elephant. No, I'm kidding. Draw an ice cream and keep it nice and simple. Add whatever toppings you want. I'm just going to add a simple cherry on top. And once you're done with that, go ahead and lighten your sketch and start outlining. And over here, I'm using my 0.5 Ohuhu fine liner. And once you're done with the outlining, it's now time to color in your sketch. You can use markers, colored pencils, watercolors, or anything you want. But as you color your drawing in, make sure to color in everything except for the magic sauce on top, because that is what is going to change color afterwards. I also used my colored pencils and acrylic paint pens to add some highlights and shading. Now the next step is to grab a black pen and outline all the parts of your drawing and make it look nice and thick. Once you're done with that, it's time to add in our background. Now you can do something like I did for the first two ideas or something completely different. And today I decided to go with something completely different. I wanted to go with like a red, black, and white theme because I thought it might be pretty cool. And I think it turned out looking pretty cool. Next up, I'm going to be using my snap blade knife and a cutting board by placing it underneath my piece of paper so that I can cut out the magic sauce on top so that I can create a little window for our new flavors to shine through. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to tape in the front as well as the back of the piece of paper. This is just to make sure that nothing gets bent or damaged as we use our little interactive ice cream. And as you can see, it's not looking exactly perfect, and that's totally fine. That's when your black Sharpie pen comes in, because if you just outline your drawing, you can essentially just erase all the mistakes and boom, it's perfect. Now to work on the back, grab a separate piece of paper and divide it into sections. So this first section here is going to be where we're going to be adding our flavors. So go ahead and add in your flavors here, anything you want. And this second part here is going to be like an envelope to contain our flavors and to make sure that they stay in place. For today's flavors, I wanted to shake things up a bit, so I went with like a strawberry flavor with rainbow sprinkles, some peppermint with chocolate chip sprinkles, and finally like a raspberry, strawberry, marble type of thing. And on the back of our envelope, I decided to write top secret, because why not? And now the next step is to cut everything out. I'm going to make sure that my flavors are a little bit smaller than the length of the envelope so they fit inside. But to make it easy for me to pull it up, I'm going to create a small arrow on this spare piece of paper. I'm going to draw it, cut it out, and then tape it on the back of the flavors. So this way we just have a nice way to pull it up. And also it just looks cute, so of course we're doing it. And now the final step is to assemble everything. So go ahead and either glue on or tape on your envelope. I went ahead and did both. And I also added some purple paper just to cover up the marker bleed through. And now go ahead and slip your flavors inside. And that's it, we are done. Our ice cream is ready. And voila! Here's how it turned out. I think it looks so cute. It's so much fun to like play with, and it's just a nice way to make your sketchbook fun and interactive. And also, I mean, it just looks delicious. So yeah, that's it for our second idea. Hope you guys liked it. And let me know which one was your favorite out of the 3 ice cream pages. And now let's move on to idea number 3, which is called Zentangle Gallery. Step number 1 is to put on your architect hat, because we are going to be constructing our gorgeous art gallery by dividing our page into multiple boxes. Go ahead and outline that with your black pen, and now it's time to fill in each box with a gorgeous Zentangle pattern. Now what I did was I literally just made up the concept for each box one by one at a time, and here's the thing. If I'm being honest with you, Don't make it perfect. Nobody wants it to be perfect and nobody cares. It's just one tiny box in your sketchbook. It's not going to have that much of an impact, and sometimes that pressure to be perfect and to make sure everything looks perfect can kind of take away from the fun aspect of art and just creating in general. So listen to me and make sure that it's not perfect. Just have fun, don't overthink it. Not all the lines need to be perfect or aligned. Just make sure that you're enjoying the process and just relaxing and having a good time, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And that's why I really love this idea, because by separating your page into tiny boxes, it really just takes away from that pressure to be perfect, because at the end of the day, it's just one box. It's one teeny tiny box and it's your box. So just chill and have fun. And also, if you want to take things up just a notch, you can try some different ideas. For example, you can make each box a different color, or you can try coloring in your boxes with colored pencils. Or you can try listening to music and in each box draw how that specific song makes you feel. Okay, that actually sounds like a good idea. Maybe I might try it in the future. But of course, no pressure. Like I said before, you can also just keep it simple. You can use a little black pen just like I'm doing right now and just draw random patterns, keeping it nice and simple. Also, if you've managed to watch this far into the video, thank you so much. You are truly a legend. And to let me know that you made it this far, feel free to comment this emoji down below. Thank you so much once again. Also, on a different note, this is super random, but does the concept of drawing rectangles in your sketchbook bring you back to primary school by any chance? Because just the thought of drawing rectangles in my sketchbook literally take me back to prep and primary school when we had these really thick textures and we were just drawing rectangles, and it was just so much fun, and the nostalgia is just so bittersweet. I want to be 6 years old again and I want to go to prep again. I miss prep. And I want to go back to art class in primary school and the teacher would give out lollies, and I want to watch Mr. Maker again and guess the shapes. Ah, the nostalgia. Anyways, moving on, this is how the final page turned out. Not only was it fun, but it brought back such sweet memories, and also it was super quick and super simple, so all bonuses and advantages. And here's another bonus. We have a small little art gallery in our sketchbook now. I mean, how cute does this look? And with that, now let's move on to idea number 4, which is simple and special, because this idea is so easy and so much fun. You are totally gonna love it. Starting it off, I'm gonna add another piece of paper on my sketchbook page because it's really thin. And now I'm gonna grab out my highlighters and pick just 3 colors. Today I wanted to pick pink, purple, and yellow. Now we're gonna go ahead and swatch these colors. As you're swatching your colors, decide which color is going to be your base color, which one is going to be your light color, and which one is going to be your shadow color. And once you have that in mind, now it's time to get sketching. Draw whatever you want. Today I'm going to be drawing my dog in a cute chibi style, and I would recommend trying to sketch lightly, or if you sketched a bit darkly, that's okay. Just go ahead and lighten your sketch like I'm doing right now. And now, out of your 3 colors, pick your light color. By the way, when I say light color, it doesn't have to be the lightest color. It just can be any color you want that is going to be the first color that shines on the subject. It's going to represent our source of light. In my case, that's going to be the yellow highlighter. And now I'm going to pick out my source of light, which is going to be coming from the top left corner of the page. And I'm going to be using my yellow highlighter to add color accordingly. And now I'm going to go in with my base color, which is pink, and just kind of color on the border of the yellow. And finally, we're going to fill in the blanks with our shadow color, which is purple. And I'm basically just going to draw on the edge of the pink and just fill in all the white spaces that we've got. And now I'm going back in once the ink is dry just to add some lines and some texture. And with this, make sure your drawing is just like really messy. Color outside the lines, make it look fuzzy, make it look messy, because that's what we want. And once you're done using your highlighters, you can go ahead and grab a pen of any color you want. I chose pink, and just go ahead and outline your drawing. This is the part that really brings your drawing together. It kind of gives it that pop art type of style, and it just makes it look so cool and so colorful and so bright. And in my case, I decided that the pink wasn't giving enough contrast, so I went back in with the black, and this really made things pop. Also, this idea is actually inspired by one of my old drawings that I made with my jelly gouache set, and here's how that drawing looks, or should I say painting. I think I made this back in 2021, and till this day I'm still so proud of it. And I was going to show you guys how to do it with jelly gouache, but I thought highlighters might be just a little more accessible to more people, so that's why we used highlighters today. Regardless, if you decide to use paint or gouache, here's some inspiration for how it could look. And with that, here's the final result of today's drawing. This is how our highlighter version looks side by side with the gouache version. I think they both look really cool. They both have their own pros and cons and their own characteristics. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is Mr. June approves. Or at least, I think his tail approves. One of the above. Anyways, that's the final drawing. You can use any medium you want, any colors you want, but that's the general concept and it looks so cool. And with that, it's time for idea number 5, which is what if? And since the title gives you no information whatsoever, let me give you some context. So the concept behind this idea is to think of a what if scenario. Specifically, what if you were a character in a cartoon? For example, today I thought of myself as a character in My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, and I decided to draw myself as a pony, specifically an alicorn. Because after all, every girl deserves to see herself as a princess. And definitely as a superhero, so I decided to also try and draw myself as how I might look if I was in the Powerpuff Girls cartoon. And this is bringing back major vibes from the last decade, and I am here for it. I love it. Anyways, once I finished my sketch, I went ahead and did my outlining, and then I began the coloring process. This is just such a fun idea. You can draw yourself as any character you want from any cartoon you want and just have fun with the process. It's also just a fun idea because it's like a nice way for you to connect with like your memories of your favorite cartoons and stuff. And also, it's just really creative and it's really cool to see how you might look if you were in that cartoon. For example, if you want some suggestions, I would say maybe try drawing yourself as a character in Tom and Jerry, in Scooby-Doo, in, I don't know, Bluey maybe, or like a Hello Kitty Sanrio type of character, or like anything you want, honestly. The sky is your limit. Or you can try and draw yourself as a realistic character from a live action series or movie as well, like Harry Potter, Marvel, DC, Stranger Things, or something like that. And all you have to do to start off this spiral of ideas is just ask yourself the question, what if? What if I was a character in this cartoon or in this movie? And there you go. Now you know exactly what to draw. And for this page, I went ahead and used purple and light blue because they're currently my top 2 favorite colors. And you know what? It actually worked out really well because these 2 drawings matched really well with the drawing on the other page. And overall, this spread turned out looking so pretty and so cool. And it ended up looking even better when I layered some more art supplies on top of these drawings and added some sparkles and highlights. And of course, after I signed it off, it was officially complete. And just like that, I'm done. As easy as a piece of cake, I was able to fill in not just 5 pages in my sketchbook, but also I was able to completely finish my sketchbook. And yeah, you know what that means? It's time for a sketchbook tour soon. And now I'm marking off the date that I finished my sketchbook, and with that, let me show you all the drawings we made today. Starting it off with this adorable pop art style drawing of Mr. June. It's so bright, it's so vibrant, and all we needed were 3 highlighters to do all this gorgeous coloring. Next up, we have our Zentangle gallery, which looks so fun, and it was fun to do, it's fun to look at, and also all we needed was just 1 pen. Next up, we have our interactive magic ice cream, which looks so delicious and it just looks like something from a kid's book. It does not look real. I still cannot believe I made this and I love playing with it. It's so much fun. Or in other words, it's really hard to stop playing with it. Here's the back of our ice cream page, and finally, here is our page where I decided to draw myself as characters from some popular cartoons, and I asked myself the question, what would I look like if I was in My Little Pony? And here's how I think I would look like, and what I would look like if I was in Powerpuff Girls. And finally, we have idea number 1, where I drew the gorgeous angel figurine in my art style, and I'm so happy with how this turned out, especially the dress. And with that, my sketchbook is officially completed. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video and maybe it gave you some inspiration and some ideas for ways to fill your own sketchbook. Anyways guys, I hope you all have a fabulous day. Stay awesome as always, and I'll see you all in the very next video. Until then, stay happy, stay sparkling, and I will see you. Bye!